So we're live. Okay. That was crazy. Okay. I had to. This was new. Vaughn. I guess we're live. And so that was different. So now I guess I have to sit up here and change this format. Okay, I believe. I think we're live, Woody.
You got it.
Huh?
You got it. Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah. I see it.
Okay. Boy, that was crazy. That was new for us. Okay. So, well, let's go. Let's start. As they say, you never know when you're gonna go live, and so here we are. We are live, and the title is Epstein, 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 and it just won't go away. And why won't it go away? Well, because at the time, in my era, like I said, seen and not heard, my era, baby boomers. So in this era, in this moment in time, you can be seen and heard. We didn't have the Gloria Aldrich's. We didn't have the We Too movement. We didn't have all of that. But that didn't mean that we didn't have a lot of the problems that these young ladies are having today. So it's not going to go away. It's not. And it's not, it opened a Pandora box, and it re-traumatized a lot of people. A lot of people didn't want to have to think about what has happened to them. And so, Todd Blanche, thanks to you, you really put the screws out there to a lot of us. Another reason why it's not going to go away, because we've had a lot of brave people to come forward. And those brave people at that time was, we had Julian Huff at the age of 10. She's a dancer. And she came forward. And I know it was probably very hard for her. Monique, from age 7 to 11. Sexual molestation, abuse, it's not going to go away. Drake Bell, at age 10, he was a singer, actor, and songwriter. Epstein, 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 it will not go away. These are people that had the courage to speak out, and it takes a lot of courage to do that. Nathan Forrest Winters, he's an actor, and he was childhood molestation. He was on Clown House. Ashley Judge, she had childhood molestation. It's not going to go away, because reflecting, when you're saying to us that Epstein and what Ghislaine Maxwell has done, that has been done to a lot of people in different times, different area codes, all over the place. You had Oprah Winfrey. She came forward. Queen Latifah had the courage to come forward. Sinead O'Connor, Lady Gaga, Tyler Perry, Mike Patton, Billy Connolly. These are all people that have come forward, and had the courage. And it took a lot. It took a lot. And there's many people out there. So when we're looking at Epstein, when we're looking at this case, because like I said, I wasn't interested in this case at all. But it just seemed like they kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it out. Then there you have it. It, like I said, it opens up a Pandora's box. Then you have the people on the other side that contributed to, like, the Epstein case. You had not only Epstein, we recently went through the trial of Sean Diddy Combs. You had Kevin Spacey, Woody Allen, David Masterson, who got 30 years, Bill Cosby. You had people like Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, Roman Polanski, Dustin Hoffman, Donald Trump, Armie Hammer. All these have contributed to Epstein, because it's not going to go away. It's been in our face. Not just starting with these young ladies, but it has existed for many years. Many years. And so I know it's a lot going on in the country. Um, it's it's to throw us off the, as they say, flood the zone. Well, here we are, flood the zone. Have people come out to testify publicly, to tell their stories, because there's a lot of stories to tell. And this one here is near and very dear to my heart because, like I said, we didn't have the Gloria Aldrich's, we didn't have the the Me Too movement, but we do have a We Too movement, and a lot of us we's are included. Absolutely, a lot of us are included. So, I would like to see Todd Blanche, since he went out there and negotiated a deal with Ghislaine Maxwell. I guess in my head, I'm thinking that how how could she be sitting in Club Fed when you got people on top 10 most wanted criminal lists and they still in maximum security and she is in minimal security? And what's terrible about that is that only validates that she can come out of her space, go to as they say, a satellite camp, a less secure place, and what does that do? That basically validates her behavior, and we can't let her behavior be validated because these women have suffered for many years, and the people that I named that have suffered, re-traumatized, hearing this information over again, we have to all relive it. We just have to relive uh, the Epstein case. That's why it's not going to go away. And what Blanche did, he opened the door. He opened the Pandora's box because it's a lot of people out there that has been done like this and has not had any justice. No justice for these women for almost what, 30 something years. They were young girls at that time. They were not women. They took advantage of the most vulnerable who weren't mature, who at the time, little girls, they don't have their cycle, um, so they can't get pregnant. It was easy for them, and if they did, as they got older, if they did get pregnant, what were they told? To go get an abortion. And that's the cruelty of all of this. The cruelty is seeing this lady come out and be placed in minimal security at this level of her crime that has been convicted on how many counts? 9 counts? As 8 or 9 counts? And basically thumb her nose up and say, I can do this and what? Be to get out and what? Start a new crew? This is absolutely horrible. There's so many behaviors that were normalized. They were normalized during this era that we're in now. And a lot of the normalization of that behavior was because the news media kept going with the fact, excuse me, that uh, that the president behavior was normal, and that behavior was not normal. They did not stick with the narrative of his mental acuity. They didn't do that, and they sit there and they talk as if what he was doing was okay, and it was not okay. They had top psychologists to look at this behavior and say that this is an existential threat. But yet and still, they removed the psychologists away from the media so that the public couldn't get the truth. Now, like I said, there are 4,500 books out there. And so MAGA, if you want the truth, then the only thing I can tell you is to come up to date, start reading. Start reading this information. Because if you notice on my live, I put a lot of the books up there, some of the ones that a lot of them I have read, and even down to this book here that the dangerous case of Donald Trump, and they have another second edition. I have that edition too, but it's either you want the truth or you don't want the truth, and you wanted the files released, and you didn't get the truth on that, and there were even questions that could even be asked, you know, on that. See, I don't understand why it's so hard that all these people, man, are following somebody around that may not have their life together, and you're depending on them to get you out of a situation that they can't get themselves out of. I find it very strange that this behavior as constantly is in our face, and the media is acting like it's a normal day in the neighborhood, and it's not. It is not. You got people, presidents coming out, speaking out against Donald Trump. I call him DJT because I'm more comfortable with that. Um, but we cannot continue to have this in our face and not get any answers. Uh, this was a narrative created by the Republicans, okay, MAGA. And now that the narrative was created, and maybe people didn't find what they want, then the problem is that you still didn't get any answers. And like I said, 15 years, I don't have that kind of time to sit up and think of, uh, well, Trump is out here, and I'm going to create this theory, and then after 15 years pass, maybe we'll get some answers, and you never got any answers? Not until this day, even when those little books came out. Where's the question? So, uh, it's unreal. It's unreal what has happened. And Epstein, it's not going to go away. Like I said, too many people that was either, and as I was looking at, I think, a feed the other day, and I was looking at Gloria Aldrich's feed when she was talking to the young lady, she said that it had been over 1,000 victims. 1,000 victims? 1,000 plus, maybe more. But there have been more victims. Not just inside not just dealing with Epstein, but just on the outside. Just from my era on, or even before then. Before then. So MAGA, if you want the truth, or if you want any answers, then Fox News not going to give you the answer, because I told you it wasn't a hoax. It's not a hoax. And they playing in your face. It is not a hoax. Because if somebody can write a book and say, hey, this was went on at Fox News, and they were contributors of molestation, they had to take people out of Fox because the environment was bad. Who was some of the people in Fox that they had to? I was Roger Ailes, and what was
Bill O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly. All this was part of. All of this is part of that era. That's why Epstein is not going to go away. You can meet anybody on the street, and they can say, I'm not part of the Epstein crew, but let me tell you what happened to me. Or let me tell you what happened to my friend. It's not going to go away. It only has magnified and intensified itself. That's what has happened. That's what has happened. And if Todd Blanche, whatever deal he cut, I guess it's a top 10 serial killer list, that they probably looking at this, and well, if he cut a deal, why come he can't come and get us out and we over there in Club Fed? But back to the questions that I think that MAGA should be asking the administration. Here's why have Epstein's files not been fully released to the public after repeated official promises? And after, are there still unreleased documents or videos pertaining to Epstein's activities? And what is blocking this disclosure? Why did the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, and other DOJ officials initially suggest a client's list existed only to walk it back later? What specific legal or court orders are preventing the release of more details, and can those sealed be challenged or lifted? If protecting victims is cited as the primary reason for withholding, or their redacted version that could be released without compromising victims' identity. Has there been any political interference or pressure from any administration or political figure that has blocked or delayed the release? Why did Republicans block efforts to compel the DOJ to reveal more Epstein records? What role, if any, have high-profile individuals named in the files played in advocating for secrecy or transparency? Did past or current White House staff influence the decision or withhold any information? Is there genuine bipartisan oversight ensuring that all relevant information is investigated and released in public interest? Why were previous statements from DOJ and FBI leaders about bombshell revelations not followed by substantial disclosure? These are questions that MAGA should be asked in their team. How will the DOJ, and some of this could be asked by us, how will the DOJ and FBI restore public trust after promising transparency, then closing the case with little new information released? Was there ever any actual client list, or was its existence exaggerated, fabricated for political purpose? Are there any mechanisms in place to audit and verify government claims about material being too sensitive to disclose? What, if any, investigation is ongoing into possible government mishandling of stonewalling of the case? These are MAGA questions, and anybody can ask these questions, for us the transparency on the Epstein file. How are the interests of the Epstein victims being balanced against the public's right to know? Is there any credible evidence that uncharged third parties involved with Epstein have been shielded from prosecution? Does the refusal to release full files hinder ongoing or future effects to combat similar sex trafficking networks? Has all possible evidence of child exploitation linked to Epstein and his circle been turned over to relevant authorities and victims advocates? What steps can the public and Congress take to demand the accountability and the full truth from the Epstein files? So these are questions that need to be answered. You didn't get the answers from this conspiracy, and MAGA and many people are hot about it, and you feel that we can no longer trust the establishment, the government, the attorneys on the side of the administration. We cannot trust the DOJ. None of these people can be trusted. None. And so that's the issue of today. Yes, there is DC issue, and there's ongoing California issues, but there will be Epstein, because there will be more people to come forward. And if he had over 1,000 people that were done by Ghislaine and Epstein, then I understand if some people can't come forward because of being re-traumatized. But as the time goes on, there need to be people that basically need to come out, because this is a behavior that cannot be ignored. This is a behavior that has went beyond. This is a behavior that's in the Supreme Court. They had a case many years ago with Anita, I think it was Anita Hill, and with Clarence Thomas. And I don't even want to, that's another deal another day. But That went on, and it almost seemed like this man never recruits himself from any of cases about women, and it's like we're being punished for it. We're being punished. Then you had Kavanaugh. He's up there. You have people in Congress, in the Senate. You had Hexel. Um, you had Gates. You have so many people that have crossed the line. That's why Epstein is not going to go away, because you're looking at people that's supposed to be guardrails for us, but they've committed these crimes. And basically, when that step was taken, and I don't know who gave them the right to clear this woman to be in a unsecure prison, or a less secure prison, that validates her behavior, that it's okay. It's okay to protect people with money. It's okay, and it's not okay. It's saying that when we let her off the hook, when we let her stretch out at Club Fed, then it's okay for these people to come back and do this to your kids, your grandkids. And it's never going to be okay. This is a behavior that has to be stopped. It has to be stopped. And Epstein will not go away until there's accountability. And we need to hold the media, who's not reporting on things, Fox News, who we know is not news. Like the guy said, it's a moneymaker. It's not a hoax. The guy worked here, Brian Stelter. Read his book. It tells a lot. And it's not going to go away. Because like I said, you had Roger Ailes and them over there. You had other people that was entertaining those behaviors. But a lot of these people were grown. It wasn't like these children that are now women that are grown and now suffering this type of non-accountability. This is absolutely terrible. Like I said, I wasn't interested in Epstein. There was other things that I was looking at, but I said, I can switch gears. I can change. I can go over here and look at this information, and this information is horrible. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible. And it's not going to go away. It's not going to go away. I don't know if Epstein is reaching from the grave or whatever, but I know when they put my girl over there in that prison, that said a lot. That said a lot about our institution. Other countries are looking at that. You're saying that you validate what she did was okay, and she was convicted? She was convicted? And now she get a chance to exercise freely, probably leave, have a sweet deal like Epstein had? This is terrible. When they was riding Biden about his mental acuity, okay, he might have had some issues, but he didn't have no issues that they wrote a whole book on. And anybody that's looking at this live stream, even if it's on, well, my bottom line is this: read, so you won't be following people around, and you think that they're gonna take care of your business when they can't handle their own. No. But I very seldom do a live stream, but this one is very close to my heart, and it has been ongoing. And I will give an exclusive to people that I know that will put it out there, because CNN, the regular media, they didn't took cuts bowed, and they're sitting up there talking to DJT like it's a normal day in the neighborhood, and I know damn well it ain't, because like I say, he's from the opposite end of the spectrum. You all expected him to do some stuff that he could never do, and now you all seeing it in your face now. You need to be questioning his mental acuity. You need to be questioning that on the Epstein on his participation in the Epstein trial or that case. That's what you need to do. So I'm gonna Hey, Woo, I'm going to end this live stream. I'm glad that you all came. I hope that the live stream went off. If not, if I have to do it again, I will do this live stream again. Because like I said, Epstein is not going to go away. You've had people that had the courage to come out and talk about their their molestation, their abuse, when it started. And the bottom line on this is, it's a lot of people that got a lot of stories. And Todd Blanche, thank you for opening the door, Richard, because, baby, it's not going to go away. It ain't that simple. No matter what you redact, you know, it's not a hoax. It's real. And these women have suffered. And it's time for you all to be held accountable. It's time for the courts to be held accountable. It's time for DJT to be reeled in. You see, his behavior is failing. Nobody can ask the questions on his mental acuity or his health. You know, there was no questions asked on Epstein the other day. People over there doing other videos, things that can help our nation that's upside down, on fire. On fire. And like I said, I'm not going to get up on a video. I'm not going to come up here without a book, without something I read, and without something I lived. I'm not going to speak on something that I don't know nothing about. I'm not going to create, or manufacture an event as that we've been seeing from California to Baltimore to
DC.
to DC. I'm not going to create anything and make up lies and come here and tell you guys lies. That's not what I'm about. I'm about the facts. Like I said, you can have your own truth, but for damn sure, you can't make up the facts. And that's what the courts have been doing up there with them damn shadow dockets, making up the facts. But that's another story, another day. And I definitely will come back on that one because our voting rights are under scrutiny. And so I want to mention that too. But also getting back to Epstein. Letting this lady walk, letting her have had the conviction that she's had, and then to laugh or play in these people's face, these young ladies' face. They women now, young girls that couldn't defend themselves. They were vulnerable, didn't have the maturity, didn't have a cycle, and then when they did have a cycle, you just go get rid of the baby. No, we're not gonna let the people that I named, from Diddy to Epstein to Woody Allen to Hoffman, to many people on that list that I named, the Dick and Pussy crew, we're not letting them get away with it. And Epstein is not going to go away because we're looking at senators. We're looking at Supreme Court people. We're looking at everywhere we turn, we got somebody that's what? In the administration that has done Epstein. And that's why it's not going to go away. It's not going to go away. Because we're looking at these people that's supposed to be looking out for our behalf, but it's hard to look at them because you know for a fact that these people have committed unsavory things. When Mikey over there then committed to a slush fund to hide their behaviors because they high profile people. But when you let high profile people get away with trafficking our children, molesting them, doing horrible, heinous deeds or acts on them, and you think that that's normal? No, that's not normal. That's not normal at all. So the bottom line is, I'm live. It says I'm live. But if I have to do this video again, I will do it. So on that note, Epstein, carry on. Carry on in California, carry on in DC, carry on in Baltimore. Okay? And we're seeing everything being played in our face. And when I looked up the other night and saw DJT sons on the couches, I said, hey, they finna get ready to make a move. Because they know that my boy is not looking that good. And for somebody to sit up on the couch and tell you how much money that they made off the United States, that lets you know how much they care about you. The people that's going to suffer, it's not only going to be us, it's going to be MAGA going to suffer too, because you're in red states also. They handed all this money over to the people that are the most powerful, that can hide their dirty ass sins and make us suffer along the way. So, like I said, it will be a lot of things that I will look at. And it will be Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. And there you go. And on that note, I'm out.